Welcome back to the online classes. This is Zafarullah Mangi from the Department of Mathematics at SMB QAPS, Qaid-e-Azam Public School, Darsanachana. We are going to start the topic is some important functions for class second year. So, in function there is different kinds of the functions. First point is we say that constant function. Basically constant function, constant means any particular thing which have occupied in a specific area, or you can say that a constant is a measurable point, or you can say that the constant is a number which is fixed quantity. So, in function, the constant functions, it must be represent only the constant value in the given output. So, here in constant function, the definition of constant function is that a function f is a function. Here f is, you can say that this function is also in other words you can say that this is a meaning mapping. So, f represent the mapping of relation between real to real mapping to the real. This R represent, first R represent the domain of the function, and the second R represent the codomain, or you can say that range of the function. I have already discussed about in previous lectures. So, first R or X represent the first set of the elements. So, a function f real to the real defined as f of x is equals to c. So, this is the function. This is represent the constant function. Constant function represent as f of x is equals to any constant value. C represent the constant number. For all x belongs to the real number, x is a domain which we put here, and if when we put the result of x in the function, it gives an outcome in different forms. So, x represents all the elements of the x belongs to the real number, where c is a constant. Then the result of the outcome is constant, is called a constant function. So, this form of the situation represent the constant function. Its domain is x. You can say that this domain belongs to the real number, because x, all the values of x belongs to the real number. So, then we can say that this domain of x, all the elements represent in a real number or represent the real number, a real number. Okay. So, and when we put here the domain x in this function, and its range or outcome is singleton set. Singleton set, which means if we put here any input, we give any input to the function, so the result of that function is only particular one or a particular number. So, in this form or in this situation, we can say that this is a constant function, or you can say that this is a singleton set, because the result or outcome will be same of the all inputs. So, singleton set we can written in this form. Singleton set, this bracket represent middle curly brackets in between the element shows the set. So, here only one element c is represent the singleton set. The graph of the constant function, here if we put here any point, so there is the combination of two sets, which first one is represent the domain of the function, and second one is represent the codomain or range. First one is represent input, and the second one is represent to the output. So, this form, the constant functions of the graph is in straight line form parallel to the x-axis. Okay? This is the graph of the constant function is a straight line and parallel to the x-axis when x is independent variable. What is dependent variable and what is independent variable? Independent variable are those variables which we give to the function as an input. If we here x is represent the role of input, so here x doesn't depend upon another situation. So x is a variable variable, or x is an independent variable because it doesn't depend upon another numbers or another material. So here the function of the outcome depend upon that x input. If we give input, then the result through that function which creates an outcome or an output. So this is x means जो x है domain is represent independent variable because it doesn't depend upon another other variables. So the graph of the constant function is a straight line parallel to the x-axis when x is an independent variable. X is an independent variable. So here this is a graph represent to the graph. Here this is x positive. This represent a straight line. So here this straight line and x, there is all the values of x is positive, and here all the values of x is negative. So this is input area and this is also input area, but in the sense of negative and positive. Then the outcome, or you can say that this is domain, codomain, or you can say that this is a range, is here in y axis, and this is y axis represent the y positive, and this area represent the y negative. Okay? So here if we put in this function, let's suppose f of x contains here, if we put here the values of c, let's suppose c is belongs to the number 4, so f of x represent 4. If we put here any value of x, either positive 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to so on, and here negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. If we put here f of x is equals to 4, here the value of x put here 0, then what will be the result is here the value of x put here 0, but here no you can say that there is no any difference between this function and this function, because here we put the value of x is 4, but it doesn't matter, it doesn't any change of the function, doesn't change any function. So here the function will be same, the functions of the outcome will be same. So in 0 point, x represent first variable and y represent second variable. So x we put here 0, then the outcome will be same. So 0 contains 4, so this added pair represent the function 0, 4. Now we put here same result of x. Here if we put here x is equals to 1, then outcome will be same 4. So the value of x and y is 1, 4. This is 1 point and this is 4 point. So here 1, 4 represent the function. Okay? This line represent the function. Now second one is, if we put here 2, then what will be the result is same here. So this is represent 2, 4. Now if we put here x is equals to 3, then what will be the value is, if we put here the value of x is equals to 3, then outcome is only 4 digit, because there is no any x variable. If here is in multiplication form or in division form, in subtraction or addition form of x is given, then we put here the value of x, but there is no any function, there is no any variable of x, so that's why this result this outcome will be same. So put again, if we put here 3, then result will be 4. So this is 3, 4, and this is 4 comma 4. So this type represent 5 comma 4. Here the outcome will be same, but the independent variables are different. So that's why we can say that x represent the independent variable and it contains a straight line parallel to the x-axis. This line and this line are the parallel of the straight line, because there is no distance, but there is a distance in these two lines. The distance between in both lines are equal to the 4, because here put here 1, the result will be 4, put here 2, the result will be 4, 3, 4, 4, 4. So in between the result is 4, because in parallel line, those lines which have never intersect to each other, this situation, these lines are represent to the parallel lines. So put here same here. If we put here minus -1, then result will be what? Same here -4. So this represent negative -1 comma 4. Same here negative -2 comma 4, negative 3 comma 4. This is, so this graph actually represent the, this graph represent the straight line, because this line also same to the x-axis line, because this line and this line are the parallel lines. So this is the example of the constant function, and this is also, you can say that this is the graph of the constant function. So here constant functions, the value is different. You can put here 2 in the form in the place of c, or you can say any number, either negative, 0 or positive value of the real numbers. You can choose any positive or negative numbers, or either real numbers. So this graph must be straight in the form of a straight line to the x-axis, and here it gives only the parallel the line which is parallel to the x-axis. If y is independent variable, then it must be in y-axis line of the straight line, and the parallel line which is the line which is parallel to the y-axis in the form of y. But in x-axis, this is line parallel to the x-axis, and this is a straight waveform. So today the constant function, we have already defined the definition of constant function, and constant function must be represented in this form. So c is any constant numbers or any particular number, so it depends upon the function, given functions. Okay, so this is our main topic of the some important functions, and now inshallah we will discussing about the identity functions and modulus functions, absolute functions, and so on. So inshallah I hope you have to done this topic briefly, and some examples are in exercises 1.1, so you can solve it easily by the way of constant function. So हमें इजाज़त दीजिए, अल्लाह।